My name is Tambetta Ojong. I am an attending physician at Kinston Community Health Center. My MEDTalk is called Transitioning from a Trainee to an Attending, the role of mentorship, personal traits, practices, and leadership style. So I'm gonna need some audience participation to begin with. So please, if you're not awake, wake up. My first question is, how many people in the audience are married? Raise your hand. All right. How many people have children? Raise your hand. How many people have or had a job? Raise your hand. Well, you asked, what do all these questions have in common? They are all transitions, and transitions are part of our everyday life, from being single to becoming married, from being a couple to becoming parents, from graduating from school to your first job, from being a trainee to becoming an attending. However, there's not much transition in all of those different scenarios, and especially not from going from a trainee to an attending. So this is me, well, on my right, sipping on a coconut out in Costa Rica. So when I transitioned from a trainee to an attending, it was a very difficult transition. It was tough. I felt burnt out. I felt frustrated. I was just overwhelmed, just angry and frustrated at the never-ending in baskets, as well as the administration, and just the lack of preparation. So what was my plan? My plan A was I was just gonna quit medicine and sell coconuts to be near my happy place, the beach. So that was plan A. Plan B, I started to think about, are there formative traits, discipline, practices, leadership styles my colleagues developed as they became attendings and experienced greater work satisfaction? So this is me on the right, graduating from fellowship. And so the objectives for today would be to determine formative character traits, disciplines, practices, leadership styles that are important to successfully transition from a trainee to an attending. In the future, I hope that we can provide a survival guide for first-year attendings, and then to generate interest and the need for one-on-one mentorship in the North Carolina region through the North Carolina Medical Society. So you ask, how did I go about that? It is interesting that you ask. I went ahead and conducted live interviews with senior and junior attendings and their advanced practice providers in primary care. I asked them a total of 20 questions from the attendings and 3 questions from their APP or advanced practice providers. I looked for common themes that are formative traits, practices, leadership styles one develops as that first year attending. So you can see the list of questions. I'm not gonna go through all of them, but some of the ones that I would like to highlight were, for example, did you have any mentors to get you through your first year? What was the most memorable day and why? Were you part of any professional organization, and did that help you? The remaining 20 questions were, for example, did you perform any teaching for medical students or any other APP students? Did you practice meditation or mindfulness, and did you find that helpful? And what was it that you felt your APP needed or wanted from you? So that's my niece on the right, dressed as a physician. So mentorship and representation is important for that very reason. Mentors have the ability to share their personal experience and failures with their mentees, who can then in turn learn from it and have the foresight when going into a similar situation. Dr. Savidi states that mentorship provides an opportunity for self-reflection. Mentorship relationship benefits the mentee and the mentor. The mentor gets greater work productivity, greater career satisfaction, as well as personal gratification. So once I did the survey, 7 themes emerged out of that survey, and they were support/influence, relationship, belonging/community, learning, balance, work ethics, and community/reflection. So in each of those categories, I just have statements from the various physicians and kind of like, the take-home point. So for the support/influence, one physician said about his more senior colleague, he would let me know gently when I made a mistake. All physicians across the board saw the importance of mentorship in their development and growth as attending. It allowed them to feel confident to know that there was a more senior person to confirm a clinical decision-making or guide them towards an answer. Relationships. I try not to get involved with the gossips or issue within themselves, but care about them and who they were as people, and ask them about their children while sharing some of who I was what another physician said in regards to interacting with staff members. 70% of the physicians who had instant chemistry with their support staff were just happy about that. And of those that did not, they were able to quickly develop instant chemistry by caring about the individual, asking questions about their family, and as well as sharing part of their own personal lives to foster kind of that teamwork building. Belonging/community. One physician said, I was part of the American Academy of Family Physicians, the Medical Society, the North Carolina Academy of Family Physicians, and they really help with leadership. They also help with networking as well as billing coding, because we know that all those are important to the development of a physician. So being part of a professional organization and network during one's career was another important trait that fostered collegial support and provided resources. Learning. I wanted to stay current and updated and promote the specialty of family medicine to a potential future colleague was another physician statement. So across the board, all physicians agreed that teaching medical students and residents greatly contributed to an attending's development, as well as as a clinician, and ensured that they stayed up to date with standard of care. 85% of those physicians taught medical student and or resident and said that it helped them just remember the why behind their clinical decision-making. Balance. I wish I had understood that well-being meant early on and become intentional about it, because it takes a long time to undo certain behaviors and mentalities. Why not think of it as life work instead of work-life balance was another physician statement. The number one outlet for all physicians in that first year was mindfulness, but some of the other ones were like fishing, relationships outside of medicine, exercising, and community such as church, friends, and colleagues. Work ethics. An APP stated about her collaborating physician, the traits I would use to describe my collaborating attending would be that he's knowledgeable, approachable, thorough, compassionate, present. There's no air about him. He does not make you feel stupid. The emerging traits of a successful attending echoed by their APP included being knowledgeable, compassionate, approachable, and present. Community/reflection. I pray to God, don't give me more than I can handle. And I've definitely said that prayer myself, just, depending on the day. And it really helped and keep me centered and calm, as well as deal with any situation that comes, across the board. And it also speaks, to your patient's faith base to keep them calm was another physician statement. Not only was mindfulness an outlet, but 85% of those physicians that practice it in various forms found that it allowed them to be present for their patient encounter, as well as facilitated, facing various challenges. And those that did not practice mindfulness wish that they had. So what are the takeaway out of those seven themes that emerged? So the important thing when you're transitioning from a trainee to an attending would be developing chemistry with support staff, joining or participating in a professional organization, knowing the culture of the practice, and ensuring that it aligns with your own professional values, just to make sure that you have greater work satisfaction, paying it forward by teaching medical students or residents to stay up to date, practicing mindfulness so that you are present during your encounters, providing presence and protection for your APP so that you can facilitate greater teamwork, and having support from community, colleagues, friends, and family so that you're refreshed and you can, again, be present for those encounters. So you asked, which plan did I go with? I went with plan B. I got a mentor, I kickboxing, and then I'm practicing mindfulness. So that, amongst many other things, as we've seen, allowed me to still practice at Kinston Community Health Center and have just greater work satisfaction. And even the process of interviewing my colleagues was very therapeutic and helped me realize kind of, it's just a transition, and this too shall pass. So in conclusion, mentorship is quintessential, essential as one transition into an attending. There were 7 themes that emerged as important formative aspects for the development of the junior attending. And so quickly, to go back to the 7 themes, in case you forgot, there were support/influence, relationship, belonging/community, learning, balance, work ethics, and community/reflection. So with those 7 themes, hopefully we can, along with a group of us, can create a survival guide for junior attendings and generate interest in the need for mentorship between junior and senior attendings through the North Carolina Medical Society. Again, I would like to thank all the physicians that participated in this questionnaire, as well as, family and everyone that was involved in this whole process. Thank you.